So in last class we have discussed up to differentiation. We discussed different formulas. After differentiation, what are the values you will get? We discussed different formulas. Okay, different cases. So you have to read everyone because differentiation. After differentiation, what are the values you will get? That is important. Do the problems. Next, rate measure. That is also the part of the differentiation only. Rate measure. Rate measure. So variation of any physical quantity with respect to time if you measure. Previously, dy by dx means the variation of y with respect to x we discussed it. That is called the that it can be represented as the differentiation of y with respect to x. When you study the change of y with respect to x, then that can be represented by doing here that can be obtained by doing the differentiation of y with respect to x. Suppose if any physical quantity that varies with respect to time, then differentiation of that physical quantity with respect to time, that is called the rate measure. That is called the rate measure. So here, in case of rate measure, it gives the change in any physical quantity per second. Suppose in case of any physical quantity in a time dt, the change in the physical quantity say y is dy. Then change in the physical quantity per second or per unit time means dy by dt. That is called the rate measure of y. So rate measure of y is equal to dy by dt. That means the change of any physical quantity with respect to time. That is called the rate measure or rate of change in the y value. Rate of change in the physical quantity y in general. Okay, one example we will discuss now. Suppose here, one example one. Y is the function of time. Y is the function of time. Then rate measure of this y means dy by dt. That is equal to d by dt of y is the function of time. That's why we had write y means f of t. So when this function is differentiated with respect to time, then you will get f dash into t, whatever it may be. In general, we can represent like this. F single prime. Single prime means one time this function is differentiated. One time this function is differentiated with respect to time. Then we got f dash of t. Suppose if you differentiate two times, f double dash we had to write. F double dash of t. That represents the function is differentiated twice. Of course, here one time we differentiated. That's why this can be represented as f dash t. That means differentiation of f with respect to t. Okay. Now I want to explain one example here. You see where it is applicable in our physics that we have to discuss. Initially, we are given a square. For example, initially we are given a square of side say L. Square of side L. This is L. Here initially we are given a square frame of side L. Here the size of this square frame gradually increases with time. Suppose here the square frame increases in size. That means this side move in this direction, this side move in this direction, this side move in this direction, this side move in this direction. That means due to that, the side of this square frame increases, no? The side of this square frame increases. In all directions, the side increases with a speed say v. In all sides, the side increases with a speed say v. Then here, this side travel in this direction with a speed v. This side travel in this direction with a speed v. That's why in a given interval of time, whatever the distance traveled by this side, this distance is same, this distance is same. All distances are same here. Now the square frame becomes this one. So here the question is, what is the increase in the area of the square frame? If each side increases with a speed v, this side move with a speed v, this side move in this direction with a speed v. If all sides move with a speed v in this direction, what is the increase in speed? That is the question they asked. What is the increase in speed? You see, generally area of the square frame at the instant whenever the side is L, the area of the square frame is equal to L square, no? Because the side is L. That's why area of the square frame is equal to L square. Here they asked the rate of increase in area of the square frame. Whenever all sides are moving away with velocity speeds v, then what is the rate of increase in area of the sphere frame? Rate of increase in area or rate measure of area? Rate of increase in area or rate measure of area? Rate measure of area. Here area is A. Rate measure of area means dA by dt, no? That means in a time dt seconds, the increase in area is dA. Then dA by dt is called the rate measure of area, which is equal to d by dt of A means L square. That is equal to, you see, whenever all sides of the sphere frame are moving away each other with speeds v, then the side of the sphere frame also increases, no? Because whenever this side reaches the position here, the side of the sphere frame becomes now this one. If it further moves, the side increases. That means L is the variable there. Now we differentiate them. D by dt of L square means what you will get? Tell me. D by dt of L square means what you will get? You tell me. 2L only. 2L only. Sure. Manjana, are you? Yeah, 2L into, okay. You see, differentiation of this L square means just like x square means 2 into power 2 into L to power must be reduced by 1. That's why 2 minus 1 into, here this is the function L, this is, we are differentiating with respect to time t. These two are different. That's why we have to differentiate this L again. That's why d by dt of L. D by dt of L. So 2L into, what is dl by dt? dl by dt means here whenever this side is moving in this direction, whenever this side, you see, whenever this side is moving in this direction, the speed increases like this, no? The speed increases so that the length of the side increases like this, no? Length of side increases in this direction like this. That's why dl by dt is the increase in length of the side. dl by dt is the increase in length of the side. Okay. ఇక్కడ v స్పీడ్ తో ఇట్లా వస్తా ఉంది అంటే ఈ సైడ్ కూడా v స్పీడ్ తో పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది కదా. కాబట్టి dl by dt is the increase in speed of the side. dl by dt is equal to v. Therefore, area, rate measure of area, dA by dt. So, at what rate the area of the side increase means dA by dt is equal to 2L into v. Where area, it is the rate measure of area at the instant whenever the side of the sphere frame is L. At the instant whenever the side of the sphere frame is 2 centimeter, what is the rate measure of area means L is equal to, we have to substitute, v will be given. You substitute there, then we will get answer. So it is the rate, the rate of increase in area of the sphere frame at the instant when side of the sphere frame is L. Okay, in this way we have to use. It is the rate measure. Okay, next one more example is also there. One more example, example 2. Due to the heating, the radius of the sphere increases at the rate of 2 meters per second. Here, suppose there is a sphere of radius smaller. Because of rise of temperature due to expansion, the size of the radius of the sphere increases. The rate of increase in radius of the sphere is dr by dt. That is equal to 2 meters per second is given. So upon heating, the radius of the sphere increases at the rate of 2 meters per second. Then volume increases at the rate of increase in its volume. The rate of increase in its volume when t is equal to, when r is equal to 3. When r is equal to 3, what is the increase in rate of increase in volume? Rate of increase in volume is they asked. Okay, so here you see volume of the sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cube. So rate of increase in volume is dv by dt. That is equal to d by dt of this one. 4/3 pi constant you keep aside outside. 4/3 pi into d by dt of r cube. That is equal to 4/3 pi into, when you differentiate r cube, then 3r square into dr by dt, no? 3r square into dr by dt. Here they asked, what is the rate of increase in volume when R is equal to 3. So when R is equal to 3 meters, at that time rate of increase in volume dV by dt is equal to question mark. That is the question they asked. Okay. So therefore, rate of increase in volume dV by dt is equal to 4 by 3 pi. You see here 3 cancel. So 4 pi r square. 4 pi r square into dr by dt. 4 pi. Answer is given in terms of pi only. Okay. 4 pi into r means at the instant whenever the radius of the sphere is 3 meter, at that time they asked the rate of increase in volume. That's why r is equal to 3 meter, 3 square. dr by dt is given as 2. No? So 2. Therefore, 8 nines are 72. No? 8 nines are 72. 72 pi. Yes. 72 pi. This is dV by dt. dV by dt means unit. It is the volume. Volume means meter cube by time in second. Meter cube per second. So the rate of increase in volume is equal to 72 pi meter per second. Or meter cube per second. Meter cube per second. 72 pi meter cube per second because the volume increase at r is equal to 3 they asked it. Okay. Actually, it is not in our materials. Okay. Just whatever I send the home assignment, you follow that one directly. Next, example 3. Example 3. The area of the blot of ink flowing such that after t seconds, its area A is equal to 3t square plus 7. Area is equal to, here we see, whenever the ink drops fall on the floor, slowly it spreads. Whenever the ink blot fall on the floor, then slowly it spreads on the surface of the floor. So the area of the ink blot increases at the rate with the time according to the equation. Area of ink blot, area of ink drop, ink blots on paper or on floor, whatever it may be, on floor, changes with the time. According to the equation, A is equal to 3t square plus 7. Then calculate the rate of increase in area at 5 seconds. At t is equal to 5 seconds. The rate of increase in area means dA by dt. No, that is question mark. Already the area changes with time according to the equation given like this. Rate of increase in area means dA by dt. dA by dt is equal to d by dt of area is given as 3t square plus 7. Tell me what is the differentiation of this 3t square plus 7? First you differentiate 3t square. D by dt of 3t square means 3 is constant, you keep aside. D by dt of t square. T square means 2 into t. 2 into t to power 2 minus 1 అంటే t. ఇక్కడ t కాబట్టి dt by dt రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. As we are differentiating the given function t with respect to t only. Even you write dt by dt, they cancel. So you need not write. Plus differentiation of constant alone. It is not multiplication with variable. That's why when you differentiate constant alone, it becomes 0. That is equal to 6 into t. Here they asked it at 5 seconds. That's why 6 into t is equal to 5. That is equal to 30. 30 meters square per second. It is the rate of increase in area of the blot. 30 meter square per second. That is the answer. Okay, these are the some problems. Okay, here In our physics, how we can apply these formulas, I will discuss some more examples, 1 or 2 examples, and after that I will start the Newton's laws of motion. Okay, sorry. After that I will start the integration. Okay, you see. Right. Here, one more last example I will explain. One more example, not related to rate measure, differentiation concept. These are given in your notes also. Okay, you see. Another example. Uh, okay, example 4 say. All of you listen the problem. A particle starts moving and its displacement after 3 seconds is given by. A particle starts moving. Particle starts moving means initial velocity 0. Its displacement after t seconds is given by x is equal to 5 plus 4t plus 3t square. And the displacement of the particle varies with time according to the equation. Here x is the displacement. The displacement of the particle varies with the time according to the equation given. Calculate the magnitude of its initial velocity. Calculate the magnitude of its initial velocity, they asked. Here, first of all, displacement is given. Displacement s is equal to x, that is equal to given. So to find the velocity, velocity is equal to rate of change in displacement, no? ds by dt or dx by dt. Okay, d by dt of x means actually to find the velocity in a small interval of time dt. Suppose the displacement of the body is ds or dx, then dx by dt is the velocity only, no? Dx by dt is the velocity. So dx by dt means differentiation of x with respect to time, that gives the velocity. So dx by dt means d by dt of x means 5 plus 4t plus 3t square. Now tell me what after differentiation what you will get, tell me. Here constant alone is there. Okay, that's why when you split them, d by dt of 5 plus d by dt of 4t plus d by dt of 3t square. So when you differentiate constant alone, that becomes 0 plus d by dt of 4t, as constant 4 is in the multiplication with the t, we can write 4 outside. So 4 into d by dt of t means 1. D by dt of t means differentiation of t means 1 only, no? Plus d by dt of 3t square, constant you keep outside. D by dt of t square means power 2 into t to the power must be reduced by 1, 2 minus 1. Therefore, 4 plus 6 into t. This is the velocity of the body at any time t. Velocity of a body at any time t. That is called the instantaneous velocity. That's why here it is called instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity. Here they asked what is the velocity, initial velocity they asked. Initial velocity means at t is equal to 0. Initial velocity they asked. Here at t is equal to 0, initial velocity of the body. Initial velocity vi. Generally initial velocity మనం u తో రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం, that is equal to how much. Initial velocity కావాలంటే t is equal to 0 నోట్ చేయాలి. t is equal to 0 రాస్తే therefore initial velocity vi is equal to u, that is equal to 4 plus 6 into t 0 substitute. Therefore initial velocity is equal to 4 meter per second, because it is given in meters. Displacement is given in meters. So initial velocity is 4 meter per second. Next, velocity at 10 seconds they asked. Velocity at 10 seconds they asked. No, velocity at 3 seconds they asked. Here it is the A. Next B. At t is equal to 3 seconds, what is the velocity? At any time t, velocity is this one. At t is equal to 3 seconds, what is the velocity? Means you substitute t is equal to 3 in this equation, then you will get velocity at 3 seconds. So from 1 velocity at t is equal to 3 is 4 plus 6 into t means 3. Therefore, 18 plus 4, 22. So v is equal to 22 meter per second. It is the velocity at 3 seconds. 22 meter per second. Next, what about the acceleration? See, acceleration of the body at a time, it is acceleration of the body at t is equal to 3 seconds. They asked. Acceleration a at t is equal to 3 is equal to dash. Acceleration అంటే మనకి డైరెక్ట్ గా యాక్సిలరేషన్ లేదు, బట్ వెలాసిటీ వేరీస్ విత్ టైం వచ్చిందిగా ఇక్కడ. వెలాసిటీ వేరీస్ విత్ టైం వచ్చినప్పుడు therefore acceleration అంటే in a time dt seconds the change in velocity is dv, then dv by dt is the rate of change in the velocity. Okay, that gives acceleration only, no? Change in velocity by time అంటే acceleration కదా. Change in velocity by time అంటే dv by dt. This can be called as differentiation of velocity with respect to time. మరి వెలాసిటీ ఆల్రెడీ ఉందిగా మనకి ఇక్కడ. వెలాసిటీ వేరీస్ విత్ టైం. టైం ఫంక్షన్ ఉన్నప్పుడే మనం ఇట్లా రాసుకోగలం. సో d by dt ఆఫ్ v అంటే 4 plus 6c. సో ఇప్పుడు డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేయండి. కాన్స్టెంట్ ఒక్కదాన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే 0 వచ్చేస్తుంది, ప్లస్ d by dt ఆఫ్ 60. 6 కాన్స్టెంట్ కాబట్టి బయటకు రాసేయండి. d by dt ఆఫ్ t అంటే 1. therefore 6 మీటర్ పర్ సెకండ్ స్క్వేర్. అయితే ఇక్కడ యాక్సిలరేషన్ లో టైం ఫంక్షన్ లేదు అసలు ఇక్కడ. అంటే టైం మీద డిపెండ్ కాదు, అంటే యాక్సిలరేషన్ కాన్స్టెంటేగా. అది ఆఫ్టర్ 3 seconds, ఆఫ్టర్ 1 second, ఆఫ్టర్ t is equal to 0, ఆఫ్టర్ 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it may be, acceleration remains constant, which is equal to 6 meter per second square. This is the acceleration of the body. In this way you have to do where is 6. Okay, I will unmute you. What is your name? You join with your names. Redmi, is it your name? You join with your names. Okay, I will unmute you. You speak with me. I'm unable to understand your problem, question. You are not unmuting. There 60 is equal to 4 is the distance covered in n second, or total distance covered in n seconds. Here it is the distance, total distance traveled in 3 seconds. If it is in 4 seconds, total distance traveled in 4 seconds. Okay. Next. Suppose from this formula, if you want to obtain the distance traveled in only second, not 2 seconds. Second lo travel చేసిన distance కావాలనుకోండి, you find distance traveled in 2 seconds and subtract distance traveled in 1 second. 2 seconds లో travel చేసిన distance అంటే you put it t is equal to 2. Then you find x value. Okay, 1 second లో travel చేసిన distance అంటే t is equal to 1, you substitute here, you find the distance traveled in 1 second, that is say s1. Distance traveled in 2 seconds అన్నప్పుడు just you substitute t is equal to, that gives the distance traveled in 2 seconds. So you subtract the distance from distance traveled in 2 seconds. If you subtract the distance traveled in 1 second, then that gives the distance traveled in second. Distance traveled in second. Here y initial velocity, to find the initial velocity, y you put t is equal to 0 means initially we consider the motion. At the instant when we consider the motion, there is no time lapses. That's why I have taken t is equal to 0. Initial గా అంటే ఎటువంటి టైం ల్యాప్స్ అవునప్పుడు, ఎటువంటి టైం కానప్పుడు, just at the beginning, whatever the velocity, that is the initial velocity. That's why we had substitute t is equal to 0. Okay, Manjunath, right? Now integration. Actually, in differentiation, the terms will be reduced, because after differentiation, suppose 3 square is there, t power 2 minus 1, that means the terms are reduced, that means subtracted. So differentiation is simply nothing but subtraction. But integration, due to integration, the terms will be added. So the integration terms will be added. Okay. So integration is nothing but a summation, and differentiation is nothing but a subtraction. Now integration topic is very, very important. Integration. So here, first of all, we have to discuss what is the importance of the integration. Importance of the integration. Okay. It is the quite opposite process to the differentiation. It is quite opposite process to differentiation. Opposite process to differentiation. So first of all, what is the advantage of this integration means I will say one example here. You see example. Suppose there is a sphere. There is one sphere. Okay. I want to know the mass of the sphere. The density of the sphere is not uniform. Density of the sphere is not uniform. It is the sphere of radius capital, but density of the sphere is not uniform. The density of the sphere varies with the distance. Density means volume density. Volume density varies with the distance A into small r square. Small r is the distance of the point from the center. R is the distance of point from the center. Rho is equal to A r square, where R distance of point from the center. Distance of point from center. From center O. Suppose this is a O. అంటే యాక్చువల్ గా ఇది యూనిఫామ్ డెన్సిటీ ఉందనుకోండి. యూనిఫామ్ డెన్సిటీ కనుకుంటే వాట్ ఈస్ ద మాస్ ఆఫ్ ది స్పియర్ అంటే వాల్యూమ్ 4/3 ఇంటూ డెన్సిటీ రో రాసేస్తే అయిపోతుంది. కానీ డెన్సిటీ వేరీస్ విత్ డిస్టెన్స్. అంటే ఇక్కడ సెంటర్ ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ ఎట్ ఎ డిస్టెన్స్ స్మాల్ ఆర్. ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ ఎట్ ఎ డిస్టెన్స్ స్మాల్ ఆర్. డెన్సిటీ ఈస్ రో. ఓకే. సో ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ ఇన్ ఆల్ డైరెక్షన్స్ ఇఫ్ యు ఇమాజిన్ ద స్పియర్, then you imagine a small sphere. Then at these points on the sphere, the total density remains same. So by taking small r as the radius, you imagine a spherical element, spherical shell. Okay, small shell imagine. Each and every point on the spherical shell is at the same distance small r from the center. That's why as on the spherical shell, as each and every point is at the same distance from the center, the density of the spherical shell is same. That is equal to A into R square. Suppose if I consider the another shell here, because the solid sphere can be imagined as the combination of number of spherical shells. No, solid sphere ni aneka spherical shells. Spherical shell ante hollow sphere. Spherical shell ante hollow sphere. Solid sphere can be imagined as the combination of number of spherical shells. No, ఇదొక స్పెరికల్ షెల్, అట్లాగే ఇంకో స్పెరికల్ షెల్. అయితే whenever it can be imagined as the combination of number of spherical shells, each and every spherical shell is having different volume density. ఇక్కడ ఇంకో షెల్ ని కన్సిడర్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, దాని distance of the spherical shell from the sun, radius of the spherical shell from the sun is more. Whenever r is more, density is more. That's why at different spherical shells, densities are also different. Suppose if the densities are same at every point, that is a rho, then in that case, what is the mass of the solid sphere means volume into density gives mass, because density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, then mass is equal to volume into density. No, so volume of the sphere is 4/3 into density rho. That is the case whenever the solid sphere is having uniform volume density growth. But here density varies with the distance from the center. That's why in this case, whenever the distance increases, the density also increases. That's why here density is not constant. In such case, in order to find the mass of the entire solid sphere, we can imagine this entire solid sphere as a combination of number of this type of spherical shells from radius r is equal to 0 to r is equal to capital R is equal to small r is equal to 0 నుంచి small r is equal to capital R వరకు small r is equal to capital R వరకు ఇటువంటి నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ స్పెరికల్ షెల్స్ యొక్క కాంబినేషన్ గా దీన్ని యూజ్ చేయొచ్చుగా మనం ఇటువంటి నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ స్పెరికల్ షెల్స్ యొక్క కాంబినేషన్ ఇక్కడ ఈ సాలిడ్ స్పేర్ గా మనం ఇమాజిన్ చేయొచ్చు కదా అనేక డిఫరెంట్ రేడియస్ ఉన్న స్పెరికల్ షెల్స్ అన్నిటిని ఒకదాంతో అరేంజ్ చేస్తాం అనుకోండి ఒక సాలిడ్ స్పేర్ లాగా మారిపోతుంది కదా దట్స్ వై solid sphere can be imagined as the combination of number of spherical shells. Okay, one such type of spherical shell we consider. What is the mass of the spherical shell? Mass of the spherical shell kavali. Mass of the spherical shells dm is equal to mass of the spherical shell dm is equal to mass ante volume into density kada volume of material of the spherical shell and ఈ spherical shell యొక్క volume ఎంత ఉంది ఇక్కడ దీని యొక్క థిక్నెస్ రేడియస్ స్మాల్ ఆర్ అనుకోండి థిక్నెస్ ఆఫ్ ది స్పెరికల్ షెల్ అంటే దీని వాల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా ఆ థిక్నెస్ కూడా వెరీ స్మాల్ స్పెరికల్ షెల్ కాబట్టి అది dr అనుకోండి అప్పుడు as the radius here thickness is very small the small thickness can be represented with dr or dx if the thickness is large we cannot represent like this okay so if the radius is smaller spherical shell is having radius smaller and thickness very small thickness dr that's why inner radius of the spherical shell outer radius of the spherical shell both are almost all same that's why what is the surface area of the spherical shell 4 pi r square no a surface area of the sphere 4 pi r square kada so surface area of the spherical shell is 4 pi r square even that is the inner surface area or outer surface area so surface area of the spherical shell 4 pi small r square into thickness dr this gives the volume of the spherical shell into density means rho volume into density that gives the mass so this is equal to 4 pi small r square into dr into rho means a into a or you take rho naught a or rho naught into r square rho naught is constant therefore 4 pi rho naught into r square r to the power of 4 into dr it is the mass of the element considered this type of elements can be imagined from r is equal to 0 to r is equal to capital R. So these type of elements can be imagined. Infinite number of such elements can be imagined from small r equal to 0 to capital R. By each and every element, like this only, you find the mass, and if you add all those masses, that gives the mass of the entire solid sphere. So the mass of the entire solid sphere is equal to this type of elements. The mass of the first element dm1, second element dm2, third element dm3, and so on. In this way, infinite terms are there. Because the solid sphere can be imagined as the combination of this type of infinite number of shells from r is equal to 0 to r is equal to capital R. That's why practically it is not possible to find the mass of all the elements and we can add as it is having infinite number of elements. In such cases, from one element say dm mass of one element is say dm. You find mass of one such element and you do integration. Integration means instead of adding all the elements we can write integral dm means that meaning is sum of the masses of all the elements sum of the all elements here okay that can be written simply like this between which limits we have to do the integration between which limits these elements are considered in that limits that means from r is equal to 0 to r is equal to capital R we have to integrate that gives the total mass of the this solid sphere total mass of the solid sphere in this type of cases we need the integration this is the importance of the integration already I said my channel name now Narayana Sharma NARAYANASARMA okay Narayana Sharma right so in this way we have to find the integration okay now of course I will when I say the formulas for integration that is very very easy but it is the importance of the integration because of this reason they introduced the integration what is your doubt Mr. Aditya Aditya, what is your doubt? I will unmute you, speak with me. Aditya. Not sigma, rho. Rho means density. Aditya, you are not unmuting. Yeah, instead of summing all the terms here, because infinite terms are there, practically it is not possible to add infinite terms. That's why in such cases we have to write the integration of dm. Integral dm means sum of the infinite terms. Infinite terms between small r is equal to 0 to capital R. Okay. Okay, Aditya, you are not unmuting. Right. 4 pi square is the surface area of the sphere, no? This element is the spherical shell. What is the surface area of 4 pi square? That surface area of 4 pi square into thickness gives volume. Surface area into thickness, area into thickness gives volume. Volume into density gives mass. Volume into density gives mass. Okay. Right. So now this integration process is quite opposite to the differentiation. Okay, I will say one more example so that you can understand very easily. This is one example. This is the importance of the introduction of the integration. మీ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇంత డిఫికల్ట్ గా ఏముండదు, ఈజీగానే ఉంటాయి, చూద్దాం. Suppose y is the function of x. And y value depends on x. That can be represented as y is the function of x. Okay, then differentiation of y with respect to x can be represented like this now. That is equal to d by dx of y means f of x. Y is f of x. When you differentiate this function, you will get f dash of x. Avuna? ఈ ఫంక్షన్ with respect to x differentiate చేసినప్పుడు this function is in terms of x. When you differentiate this function with respect to x, then you will get some value that is represented with f dash x. F dash x means that is the differentiation of f of x. Okay, అంటే దీన్ని differentiate చేస్తే వచ్చే వాల్యూ ఇది. ఈ ఫంక్షన్ differentiate చేసినప్పుడు when you differentiate this function with respect to x, whatever the value you will get, when you do integration of that one, when you do integration of that one, అంటే ఒక ఫంక్షన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏ వాల్యూ అయితే వచ్చిందో దాన్ని మనం ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసినప్పుడు when you integrate this one between the limits x1 to x2, then you will get the value before differentiation, that means f of x. When you integrate this here dx, after integration of this function, whatever the value you will get, if you differentiate this function with respect to same x only, integration of this function with respect to x means that can be represented like this, f dash x dx. That is equal to, you will get the value before differentiation, that means fx. That is the example. So here one example I will say. One example. In integration there are two types. In integration there are two types: definite integration, indefinite integration. Types of integration. One, definite integration. Two, indefinite integration. In case of definite integration, limits are there. Integral x1 to x2. Previously, in case of solid sphere, we integrated from r small r equal to 0 to capital R. I said no, they are the limits. Integration limits. If limits are there, that is the definite integration. Limits exist. లిమిట్స్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అయినాయి అంటే డెఫినెట్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ అంటాం, అవ్వకపోతే ఇండెఫినెట్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ అంటాం. ఇక్కడ మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తా ఉంది ఇండెఫినెట్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ అన్నప్పుడు ఆఫ్టర్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద వాల్యూ విల్ గెట్ ప్లస్ సమ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ వి హావ్ టు రైట్. In case of indefinite definite integration, we should not write the constant. Okay, that is only the difference between integration, definite integration and indefinite integration. Okay, now I want to say different cases. Here we are discussing only definite integration only. Limits are there. That's why I don't want to write always plus some integration constant like that. And I don't write the limits also, because we are discussing the definite integration only. Limits must be there. So definite integration. Definite integration. One example you see. Suppose integral x to power of 3 dx is there. అంటే x cube ని మనం ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. What does it mean? x cube ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయడం అంటే ఇక్కడ x to power వాట్ ఎవర్ ద పవర్ హియర్, దట్ పవర్ మస్ట్ బి ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ బై 1. 3 plus 1 by whatever the power you will get. We have tried that power in the denominator 3 plus 1, that is equal to x to power 4 by 4. It is the integration of this x cube dx. Integration of x cube dx. మీకు ఆల్రెడీ ఇందాక చెప్పా, when you do the integration of a function, you will get the after integration you will get the function before differentiation. We know one example again. You see y is equal to f of y is equal to x to power of n. Then differentiation of this y with respect to x gives what? Actually it is equal to f of x. When you differentiate this y with respect to x, whatever the value you will get, that is represented with f dash x, which is equal to how much? dy by dx means, tell me what is the value you will get? This power n into x to power must be reduced by 1, so n minus 1. This is f dash x. It is f dash x. Now integral of, already I said, integral of this f dash x dx is equal to what? Integral of f dash x means n into x to power of n minus 1 into dx. Okay, now n is the number, it is constant. You write outside the integration. Yeah, in volume 1 only this integration, basic mathematics is there. N is the constant, you write outside the integration. Integral x to power of n minus 1 into dx. So integral f dash x dx is equal to n into, what is the integration of this x to power of n minus 1 dx? You follow this rule. X to power must be increased by 1. So n minus 1 is already there. Power must be increased by 1 by whatever the value you will get in the power. You have to write that power in the denominator. N minus 1 plus 1 means n only, no? So you write n. Then n cancel, minus 1 plus 1 cancel. That is equal to x to power of n only, no? X to power of n means that is the function we have before differentiation. After differentiation మనకి ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది. After differentiation, whatever the function you will get, if you do integration of this function, then you will get the value before differentiation. We got the same, no? And ఒక function differentiate చేస్తే you will get another function. When you integrate that function, resultant function, you will get the value before differentiation. అంటే integration is quite opposite to the differentiation. Integration is quite opposite to the differentiation. From this, now you tell me, based on this one, here suppose integral x to power of n dx is there. How we can write? Tell me. Integral of x to power of n dx is there. After integration, what is the value you will get? You tell me. Based on this concept. When integral x to power of n dx is there, how you can write this one? You tell me. You respond. X power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Very good, Sai. Okay, very good. You see, ఇక్కడ function as it is గా రాసి power ని 1, you have to write the function as it is and power must be increased by 1. అంటే we have to write the power n plus 1 by whatever the power you will get, we have to write in the denominator. Actually, limits are also there because we are discussing the definite integration. That's why limits are there. So every time we need not substitute, we need not mention the limits. Suppose if limits are there, limits means x1 to say x2. Then this is equal to x of n plus 1 by n plus 1 limits x1 to x2. We had substituted the limits. This is equal to n plus 1 is constant, you write outside the bracket into x of n plus 1 hold x1 to x2. So 1 by n plus 1 into first upper limit we had substitute instead of this variable x place to x2 right, x2 to power of n plus 1. Before substituting lower limit you had put minus sign, minus half. Instead of x you substitute this x1 to power of n plus 1. This is the substitution of the limits. So x to power of n dx limits x1 to x2 is equal to like this. We have write like this. Okay. Therefore, integral x to power of n dx limits x1 to x2 is equal to x to power of x2 power of n plus 1 minus x1 to power of n plus 1 whole by n plus 1. This is the value of x to power of n dx between the limits x1 to x2. It is called upper limit, it is the lower limit. First we had substitute upper limit here, then we had substitute lower limit. Before substituting lower limit, you had put minus sign. That is the method we had to remember. Okay, now fourth one, integral x square dx gives what? Tell me, integral x square dx. Yeah, I will say examples also. First I have to write, I want to write the formulas, then I will say example also. X square ఉంది పవర్ ను ఒకటి రైజ్ చేయాలి అంటే 2 plus 1 by whatever the power you will get in the denominator we have to write the same power, that is equal to x cube by 3 no. Next integral dx is there. Integral dx is equal to what? Integral dx means here x function is not there, but we are integrating with respect to x. If x function is not there, we can write x to the power of 0 no into dx. Okay, integral dx ante that can be written as integral x to power of 0 dx. X to power of 0 means 1 only, 1 into dx 1 dx only. That's why this integral dx can be written like this. Now do the integration of x to power of 0 with respect to x. X to power of 0 plus 1 by 0 plus 1, that is equal to x only no. So integral dx is equal to x. Integral dx is equal to x. Okay, next integral x cube plus x square plus 4 into dx is equal to what? Integral x cube plus x square plus 4 into dx is equal to what? You can split them. Integral x cube into dx plus integral x square into dx plus integral 4 into dx we can write. So integral x cube dx plus integral x square into dx plus integral 4 into dx. Now tell me, integral x cube dx means x to power must be raised by 1. So 3 plus 1 means 4 by whatever the power you will get here, we are writing the denominator, plus integral x square dx means x cube by 3 plus integral 4 into dx. 4 is the constant you write outside. Integral dx means x only no, so x. This is the integration of this one. In this way you have to write. So dx value x గా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే dx ని x గా స్మాల్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ డిస్టెన్స్ ని టోటల్ డిస్టెన్స్ గా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలంటే we have to do integration, that gives x. Okay, okay, next seventh one, integral 1 by x dx is there. Integral 1 by x dx is there. After integration what you will get, tell me. So in these cases we have to think, when which function is differentiated with respect to x, you will get 1 by x. ఏ ఫంక్షన్ ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే 1 by x వస్తుంది, log x ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే 1 by x వస్తుంది. 1/x ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసినప్పుడు log x రావాలిగా మరి, కాబట్టి log x. So this is equal to log x. Okay, next integral 1/ax plus b dx is equal to integral 1/ax plus b అంటే ఆల్రెడీ x ప్లేస్ లో ax plus b అని ఉంది. ఫస్ట్ as it is we can write like this, log ax plus b రాసిన తర్వాత ఇక్కడ x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a ఉంది కదా, ఆ a తో మనం డివైడ్ చేయాలి. ఇక్కడ a తో డివైడ్ చేయాలి. x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a ఉంది కాబట్టి x వేరియబుల్, ఇక్కడ x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a ఉంది కాబట్టి a తో డివైడ్ చేస్తే మనకి దీన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసినప్పుడు వచ్చే వాల్యూ అవుతుంది. దీన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ ఇదే రావాలిగా, వస్తుందో లేదు చూడండి ఒకసారి. మనం చేసిన ఆన్సర్ కరెక్టా కాదో తెలుసుకోవాలంటే అగైన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్ దెమ్, యు విల్ గెట్ దిస్ వాల్యూ. దీన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తే ఇది వస్తుంది, దీన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే ఇది వస్తుంది. దీన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేయండి, డిఫరెన్స్ d by dx of this one. a కాన్స్టెంట్ కాబట్టి 1/a you keep aside. log ax plus b అంటే 1/x plus b into x power a కా x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a కాబట్టి a తో మల్టిప్లై చేస్తాం. a క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతే మీకు 1/x plus b నే వచ్చేది. కాబట్టి 1/x plus b dx అంటే log ax plus b. 9th one ఇంటిగ్రల్ 1/x of n dx అని ఉందనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ పవర్ 1 అయితేనే ఇట్లా రాసుకోవాలి ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ లాగ్. మోర్ దాన్ దట్ 1 ఉంటే ఇట్లా రాయకూడదు. సో ఇంటిగ్రల్ x to the power minus n dx అయిగా. Denominator, whenever in the denominator when x to the power n is there, then you write in the numerator as x to the power minus n dx, which is equal to x to the power minus n plus 1 by minus n plus 1 as ordinary integration only. Okay, next 10th one, integral e to the power ax is there. Okay, first integral e to the power x only. First integral e to the power x only. Integral e to the power x dx is equal to exponential function వచ్చినప్పుడు as it is గా exponential function x is గా రాసేయాలి. ఇంటూ ఇక్కడ కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ x 1 ఏ లేదంటే 1 కదా, 1 తో డివైడ్ చేయాలి. అంటే 1/1 అంటే ఇదే వచ్చేది. నెక్స్ట్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ e to the power ax dx is equal to ఇంటిగ్రల్ e to the power ax dx అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఫంక్షన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే as it is గా ఎక్స్పోనెన్షియల్ ఫంక్షన్ పవర్ అదే రాసేయాలి. కాకపోతే ఇక్కడ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ లో x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a ఉంది కాబట్టి దాంతో డివైడ్ చేయాలి. అదే డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ అయితే మల్టిప్లై చేయాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ ద డిఫరెన్స్. ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ with the coefficient of x we have to divide. In differentiation with the coefficient of x we have to multiply. That is only the difference between integration and differentiation. మనకు వచ్చింది కరెక్టా కాదో తెలుసుకోండి, దీన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే మళ్ళీ ఇది రావాలి. వచ్చిందో లేదో చూసుకోండి, దట్ ఈస్ ద ఆన్సర్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ 12th one. ఇంటిగ్రల్ sin x, ఇంటిగ్రల్ sin x dx. దేన్ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేస్తే మనకి sin x వస్తుంది. Which function when differentiated you will get sin x? Generally when you differentiate the cos x value you will get sin x, no? Generally when you differentiate the cos x value you will get minus sin x. Minus cos x and differentiate cheste just you keep minus aside. Integral cos x dx means minus sin x. Minus means plus sin x. That means when you differentiate minus cos x you will get sin x. That's why the integration of sin x is equal to minus cos x. Next, integral cos x dx. Which function when differentiated you will get cos x? When you differentiate the sin x you will get cos x. That's why to get the integral cos x dx, sin x is the answer. Sin x and differentiate చేస్తే cos x వస్తుంది కాబట్టి integral cos x dx అంటే sin x. ఇంటిగ్రల్ sin square x dx. ఇంటిగ్రల్ sin square x dx మనం డైరెక్ట్ గా ఇట్లా చేయలేం. అప్పుడు దీనికి ఏం చేయాలి? ఇంటిగ్రల్ sin square x అంటే 1 minus cos 2x by 2 రాయొచ్చా ఇంటూ dx. మీకు ఆల్రెడీ ట్రిగోనోమెట్రీలో ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ చెప్పాం. sin square x is equal to 1 minus sin square x is equal to 1 minus cos 2x by 2. sin square x is equal to 1 cos 2x is equal to ఫార్ములా చెప్పా. cos 2x is equal to, what is the formula I said? Cos 2x is equal to, cos 2x is equal to, what is the formula I said? Cos 2x formula. Sin square x ante 1 minus cos 2x by 2 andi. Cos square x ante 1 plus cos 2x by 2. Okay. So దీన్ని స్ప్లిట్ చేయండి. ఇంటిగ్రల్ 1 by 2 into dx అంటే dx by 2 minus ఇంటిగ్రల్ cos 2x by 2 into dx. 1 by 2 కాన్స్టెంట్ పక్కన రాసండి. ఇంటిగ్రల్ dx అంటే x by 2 minus 1 by 2 keep aside. ఇంటిగ్రల్ cos 2x dx రావాలి. cos 2x రావాలంటే sin 2x ని డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేయాలి. కాబట్టి ఇంటిగ్రల్ cos 2x అంటే sin 2x. అయితే ఇక్కడ కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ x 2 ఉంది కాబట్టి 2 తో డివైడ్ చేయండి. therefore x by 2 minus sin 2x by 4. x by 2 minus sin 2x by 4. Okay, next similarly integral cos square x dx is equal to, integral cos square x dx is equal to what? Integral cos square x dx. Integral cos square x gives what? Cos square x can be written as 1 plus cos 2x whole by 2 into dx. That is equal to, చూడండి మీకు ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ డిఫరెన్స్ ట్రిగోనోమెట్రీలో ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ చెప్పా చూడండి ఒకసారి. ట్రిగోనోమెట్రీలో ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ చెప్పా చూడండి. cos 2a is equal to cos square a minus sin square a. cos 2a is equal to cos square, ఓకే ఇక్కడ చెప్పా చూడండి. 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 sin square theta. 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 sin square theta. అప్పుడు sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2 కదా. అయితే ఇక్కడ theta ప్లేస్ లో x ఉంది కాబట్టి x అని రాసాం. అట్లాగే 1 plus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta. అప్పుడు cos square theta is equal to 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2 నే కదా. ఇక్కడ రాసుకోవచ్చు. మీకు ట్రిగోనోమెట్రీ ఆల్రెడీ ఫార్ములాస్ చెప్పాను నేను. ఓకే, సో దీన్ని స్ప్లిట్ చేయండి. ఇక్కడ 1 by 2 కాన్స్టెంట్ కాబట్టి పక్కకు రాసేయండి. ఇంటిగ్రల్ 1 into dx అంటే x ప్లస్ ఇంటిగ్రల్ cos 2x dx అంటే cos 2x ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తే sin 2x. కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ x 2 ఉంది కాబట్టి 2 తో డివైడ్ చేయాలి. దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఆఫ్ cos square x dx. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మీకు కొన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చెప్తే ఈజీగా అర్థం అవుతుంది. ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చెప్తాను ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ప్రాబ్లం ఎట్లా చేయాలి ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని చెప్తాను. Okay, next 16. Integral secant square x dx. Which function when differentiated you will get secant square x? ఏ ఫంక్షన్ డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు secant square x వస్తుంది? డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ ఆఫ్ tan x కదా. కాబట్టి secant square x ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తే మనకి tan x వస్తుంది. tan x. ఓకే, tan x. 8th పాయింట్ 1 by ax plus b ఉంది కదా. జనరల్ గా x యొక్క పవర్ 1 కాబట్టి 1 by x అంటే log x రాసుకోవచ్చు. 1 by ax plus b అంటే ఫస్ట్ యు హావ్ టు రైట్ log ఆఫ్ సంథింగ్, log ax plus b. ఇక్కడ x యొక్క కోఎఫిషియంట్ a కాబట్టి a తో డివైడ్ చేస్తా. అది లేకపోతే 1 అనుకోండి, 1 ఏ కాబట్టి రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఓకే, సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది వేరియస్ ఫార్ములాస్. Next, suppose we are having integral ax plus b into dx. Integral e to the power of ax plus b into dx undi. Whenever we are integrating the exponential function, first we have to write exponential function as it is, e to the power of ax plus b. But we have to divide it with coefficient of x, that is a. So we have to divide it with a. Integration. Next, suppose we are having 18th one, integral okay, you see here. So this is about integration. These are enough. While doing problems, some different cases are there. I will explain at that time. These are enough. So now we have to discuss the examples one by one. Suppose here integral some constant a into x power of n dx is there. When the constant is in multiplication with x power of n, we can write constant directly outside. Integral x power of n dx, we have to write a into integral x power of n means x power of n plus 1 whole by n plus 1. This is the answer. In this we have to do. Okay, next. We have to discuss some examples now. These are only the formulas for integration. Some just note point. 1. Velocity is equal to ds by dt. Velocity of a body is equal to ds by dt. And in a small interval of time dt, the displacement of the body is the ds. Then ds by dt is the velocity of the body. Okay. Acceleration of the body and rate of change in velocity. In a small interval of time dt, the change in velocity is a dv. Then dv by dt is the rate of change in the velocity of a body, which is called acceleration. In terms of displacement రాయాలి ఎట్లా రాయొచ్చు ఇక్కడ దీన్ని ds తో మల్టిప్లై చేయండి ds తో డివైడ్ చేయండి I think there is no change in the value am I right acceleration equal dv by dt I think you multiply this dv by dt with the ds and divide with the ds I think it makes no difference ఇట్లా మల్టిప్లై చేయడం వల్ల వాల్యూ ఏం చేంజ్ కాదుగా ఓకే ఇట్లా మల్టిప్లై చేయడం వల్ల వాల్యూ ఏం చేంజ్ కాదు కదా నౌ ఈ స్ప్లిట్ దెం dv by ds dv by ds into ds by dt you write. Therefore, acceleration is equal to dv by dt. That is equal to generally acceleration ante dv by dt right. That is equal to. It's only ds by dt ante v kada. V into dv by ds. Ante acceleration can be written in terms of displacement s as v into dv by ds. Since v is equal to ds by dt. ఇట్లా కూడా మనం రాసుకోవచ్చు ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ కూడా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఓకే రైట్ అమ్మా ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చూద్దాం Example 1. Here, y is equal to mx. Let the y is equal to y is equal to root 3 by 2 x. ఇచ్చాడు. y is equal to root 3 by 2x is the straight line. y is equal to root 3 by 2x is the straight line. ఓకే, ఇది ఒక స్ట్రైట్ లైన్ ఈక్వేషన్ ఇచ్చాడు. ఓకే, ఇచ్చేసి వాట్ ఏరియా అండర్ గ్రాఫ్ ఫ్రమ్ x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 2 మీటర్ అన్నాడు. అంటే ఈ స్ట్రైట్ లైన్ గ్రాఫ్ ని తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఏరియా అండర్ ది గ్రాఫ్ ఫ్రమ్ x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 2 మీటర్. x is equal to 0 అంటే నో డౌట్ x is equal to 0 ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. ఇది x యాక్సిస్, ఇది y యాక్సిస్ అనుకుంటే ఇక్కడ x0 y0 కదా, x, y కోఆర్డినేట్ 0 దీనికి ఆరిజిన్ కాబట్టి ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆరిజిన్. ఓకే, x 0 అంటే ఆ పాయింట్ ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. x is equal to 2 మీటర్ అంటే సపోజ్ ఆ పాయింట్ ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడ ఉంది అనుకున్నాం, ఇక్కడ x is equal to 2 మీటర్. ఏరియా అండర్ ది గ్రాఫ్ అంటే ఇదేగా ఏరియా అండర్ ది గ్రాఫ్. Tell me what is the area under graph? Area under graph from x equal 0 to x is equal to 2. Area under graph from x is equal 0 to x equal to. Area under graph. Okay, ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ నోట్ చేసాం కదా మనం. Area under the graph from x equal 0 to x is equal to 2. A is equal to that area. A is equal to, how we can write? Up to x is equal to 2 from 0. We have a straight line. ఏరియా అండర్ ది గ్రాఫ్ అంటే ఈ స్ట్రైట్ లైన్ కి x యాక్సిస్ కి మధ్యగల ఏరియా అంటే షేడ్ పార్ట్, దానికి ఏరియా. ఇది ట్రయాంగిల్ షేప్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి హాఫ్ బేస్ ఇంటూ జనరల్ ఫార్ములా హాఫ్ బేస్ ఇంటూ హైటేగా. ఏరియా ఆఫ్ ది ట్రయాంగిల్ అంటే హాఫ్ బేస్ ఇంటూ హైటే కదా. దట్ ఏరియా ఆఫ్ ది ట్రయాంగిల్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ హాఫ్ బేస్ అంటే ద డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ వన్. ఈ ట్రయాంగిల్ యొక్క బేస్ అంటే ఇదే కదా, అది ఎంత ఉంది 2 ఉంది. మరి ఆ టైంలో హైట్ ఎంత, హైట్ అంటే ఇదేగా. హైట్ ఆఫ్ ది ట్రయాంగిల్ అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు ఉన్న డిస్టెన్స్, దట్ ఈస్ ద y కోఆర్డినేట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ పాయింట్. మరి what is the y coordinate of this point? y is equal to root 3 by 2 into ఇక్కడ ఈ పాయింట్ దగ్గర x వాల్యూ ఎంత 2. ఈ హైట్ ఇంత హైట్ ఉన్నప్పుడు at that position whenever the height is y, then at that time what is the x value is 2. You substitute 2 here into 2, that is equal to root 3 only. So y is equal to root 3. You write base is 2, height is equal to root 3. Therefore area is equal to root 3. ఇవన్నీ కూడా SI సిస్టమ్ లో ఉన్నాయి అనుకుంటే 2 మీటర్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా SI సిస్టమ్ లో ఉన్నాయి అనుకుంటే therefore root 3 meter square is the area under the graph. అయితే దీన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ మెథడ్ తో చేయాలి. ఎట్లా చేయొచ్చు? బై ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ మెథడ్. ఓకే, చూడండి, as the y value varies continuously with the distance x, horizontal distance x, so you consider the small element here, small element from the origin at a distance x. You consider the small element here. For the small element, thickness is also very small, that is equal to dx only. The thickness is equal to dx only. Thickness is very small, that is equal to dx only. This height is say y. This height is say y. Okay. Now what is the area under this element? Area under the element అంటే ఈ ఎలిమెంట్ కి x axis మధ్య ఏరియా. Area under this element considered is area under this element means area between this element considered here and x axis. అంటే ఈ షేడ్ పార్ట్ యొక్క ఏరియా. దీనికి width dx, length y. కాబట్టి ఏరియా అండర్ ది ఎలిమెంట్ dA is equal to y into dx రాయొచ్చా? ఇక్కడ ఒక రెక్టాంగులర్ స్ట్రిప్ లాగా ఉంది కదా. ఇక్కడ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ dx అంటే వెరీ స్మాల్ విడ్త్ అండి. వెరీ స్మాల్ విడ్త్ అన్నప్పుడు ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ y కాన్స్టెంట్. ఇక్కడ y కాన్స్టెంట్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ విడ్త్ dx, హైట్ ఏమో ఇక్కడ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద కోఆర్డినేట్ ఆఫ్ y, దెన్ దట్ y is the distance of this element. ఇక్కడ నుంచి వెర్టికల్ డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఎలిమెంట్, అది y. y into dx is the area under the element. Can we write like this or not? You tell me. Can we write like this or not? Area under the element and dA is equal to y dx and write kada. This type of elements can be imagined from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 2. ఇక్కడ వరకు మనకు కావాలి ఏరియా. x equal to 0 నుంచి x equal to 2 మధ్యలో ఏరియా అడిగారు కదా. It is the area under the small element. So this graph from x is equal to 0 to x equal to 2, we can imagine this straight line consists of number of such type of elements. Area under each and every element you find. Infinite number of elements can be imagined. Or you find the area under all infinite number of elements and you add them. That gives the total area under this graph. But instead of being like that, area under one element you find, and between which limits this type of elements can be imagined means x equal to 0 to x is equal to 2. That's why you integrate. Therefore, total area is equal to integral dA. That is equal to integral. dA means y into dx. Limits x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 2. Okay. So this is equal to integral y and a root 3 by 2 into x into dx. limits 0 to 2, x equals 0 to 2. So root 3 by 2 is constant, you write outside, into integral x means integral x dx means x square by 2. Limits you substitute 0 to 2. So root 3 by 2 into first upper limit you substitute 2 square by 2. Lower, before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. Instead of x you substitute 0. So 0. 0 by 2 0. Okay, therefore you see 2 2s are cancelled. Root 3 by 2 into 2. 2 to cancel root 3. Root 3 meter square. So area is equal to root 3 meter square now. We got same now. That means when you do by integration method or by direct method also, you will get the same. Of course, in this case, by direct method we can do. But suppose if the graph is a curve, in such cases we cannot find the area under the graph directly. In such cases, we need the integration method. I will say that example also. Now you see under example. I think from this example we got idea. Oh, by integration we can find the area under the graph like this. It is the case whenever y value is not constant. When y value increases with x, y value changes with any parameter. In such case, to find the area under the graph, we have to use the integration method. Okay. One more example I want to discuss. Example 2. Suppose here y is equal to x square graph. Y is equal to x square equation is there. What is the nature of the graph between y and x? You tell me. Yeah, curve I am discussing. Y is equal to x square curve is there. What is the type of the graph? It is a parabola because there are two variables in y and x in which one variable is having square. That's why it is a parabola. So when you draw the graph, in which direction parabola is open? X is along x-axis, y is along y-axis. What is the nature of the graph you'll get? Y-axis supports. Very good. As square is for x, parabola must be open towards y-axis. Is it open towards positive axis or negative axis? Means as a coefficient of x square or coefficient of y, that is positive. Positive y-axis. The parabola must be open towards positive axis like this. Only this type of graph is given. It is not given. Only the graph is given like this. Y is equal to x square graph. What is the area under this graph? So in this case, we cannot find directly, what is the area under the graph from x is equal to 0 to x is equal, suppose from x is equal to 1, x1 to x2. What is the area under the graph? X1 to x2 area under the graph ante x1 point is here, x2 point is here. Between these 2 points, the area under the graph ante this shaded part is the area under the graph. So what is the area under this graph they asked? How we can find? Okay. So can we find directly as in previous case? It is not a straight line. If it is a straight line, we say suppose if in between x1 and x2, in between x1 and x2, if it is a straight line, then you can find directly area under the graph because these values are known. If you know these values here, this is a y1, this is a y2, then area under the graph means it is a trapezium. It is a trapezium or it is a combination of triangle and a rectangle. Area of the triangle plus area of the rectangle gives area under this entire graph. We can find directly, but it is a curve because it is a triangle as it is a straight, but it is a curve, so it is not a straight line. That's why in this case we cannot find directly the area under the graph. In this case, how we can find the area under the graph? That is the importance of the integration. Okay. So here you consider the small element here. You consider a small element on the graph. When you consider the small element on the graph at a distance x from the origin, okay, Here exactly as the small element is considered, width is very small, that is equal to dx. As the width is very small on this element at the first end, at the second end, the y value does not change. That y value is equal to y itself. Therefore, what is the area under this graph means this height is equal to y, this width is equal to dx. So area under this element considered, ఇక్కడ ఒక ఎలిమెంట్ కన్సిడర్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, ఈ ఏరియా అండర్ ది ఎలిమెంట్, ఏరియా అండర్ ఎలిమెంట్ dA is equal to height into width, length into breadth. Length అంటే that is equal to y. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ y కోఆర్డినేట్ y అంటే ఇక్కడ 0 కాబట్టి y minus 0 y ఏ కదా, అంటే this length is equal to y into breadth is equal to thickness of the element dx, y dx. Okay, here therefore it is the area under the element considered. So what is the area under the graph between x1 to x2? x1 x2 మధ్యలో ఉన్న ఈ గ్రాఫ్ కింద ఉన్న ఏరియా అంటే ఏరియా ఆఫ్ ది షేడ్ పార్ట్. Therefore area under shade part, that is say capital A, which is equal to area under the shade part అంటే area of the element considered, area of the element is taken as dA. Area under the shade part అంటే this type of elements can be we have to imagine from x1 to x2. That's why between x1 to x2 you integrate. అప్పుడు ఈ అన్ని ఎలిమెంట్స్ కింద ఉన్న ఏరియా మొత్తాన్ని యాడ్ చేసేయచ్చు కదా, ఆ యాడ్ చేసే బదులు ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో ఏరియా అండర్ ది ఎలిమెంట్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇంటిగ్రల్ dA అంటే y into dx, దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఇంటిగ్రల్ y అంటే x². ఎందుకంటే మనకి ఇక్కడ లిమిట్స్ x1 x2 ఇచ్చాడు, అంటే ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ x ఇచ్చాడు కాబట్టి y should not be there. y also you change them into x terms, that means y is equal to x² కాబట్టి you write x² into dx, x1 to x2. Therefore area under the element is equal to integral x² dx means after integration what you will get? After integration what you will get? Integral x² dx is there. After integration what you will get? x³ by 3. Very good. x³ by 3. Limits x1 to x2. First you substitute upper limit. Instead of x you substitute x2, q is there by 3. Before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. Instead of x you write x1, q is there, so x1 q by 3. Therefore area under the graph between the limits x1 to x2 is equal to x2 q minus x1 q whole by 3. This is the answer. It is the area under the graph from x1 to x2 here. This is the area of the shade part. In this way we have to calculate. Okay, now we have to observe some simple examples also. Of course when you practice them it becomes easy only. Of course at a time when you see all the formulas, oh it is you may feel difficult, but when you do one by one definitely all problems becomes easy. But in your mathematics when integration comes, in your mathematics you are having integration chapter, a big chapter. Okay, when you read, when integration differentiation topics are completed in mathematics, these are nothing in front of those topics. It is nothing, it is fundamentals in that mathematics. You can do very simply. Okay, second year or first year, whatever it may be. But when you read this integration differentiation mathematics, it becomes nothing, just like 1 plus 2 is equal to what? In such a way you feel this integration when this will be completed in the mathematics. Okay. Okay, now so we have to discuss what is the need of the integration. With one example I want to say. Okay, one example you see. Here one simple example is there. You see. Example 1. The instantaneous velocity of a rocket jet after launching is given by the expression. The instantaneous velocity of the rocket after launching in a time t seconds is given by v is equal to 2t plus 3t square meter per second. And when the rocket is launched from a launching pad, when it leaves the launching pad, its velocity varies with the time according to the equation like this. Its velocity varies with the time according to the equation like this. Whether it is rocket or whether it is body, that is immaterial to us. Velocity varies with the time. That's all. That relation we need. So that is given already. Okay. Then find out the distance traveled by the rocket from t is equal to 2 seconds to t is equal to 3 seconds. From t is equal to 2 seconds to t is equal to 3 seconds. What is the distance traveled by the rocket? Distance traveled by the rocket from t is equal to 2 seconds to 3 seconds is how much? You see, is the velocity of the body is constant throughout the motion from 2 seconds to 3 seconds? Is the velocity of the rocket remains constant? 2 seconds నుంచి 3 seconds మధ్యలో distance traveled అడిగాడు. In between these times 2 seconds to 3 seconds limit, is the velocity of the rocket remains constant? No, because continuously the velocity of the rocket varies with time. That's why velocity is not constant. In such cases only we use the differentiation or integration method. But here they asked the distance traveled. They asked the distance traveled. To find the distance traveled, v is equal to, we can write, you see, v is the velocity of a body at any instant of time t. That's why it is called instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity and velocity of a body at any instant of time t. Then instantaneous velocity antam. So this is the instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity can be represented as ds by dt. And in a small interval of time dt, if the distance traveled by the body is say ds, then ds by dt is the instantaneous speed or instantaneous velocity of a body. Okay, this is equal to, v is given as this one, t plus 3t square. Here from this, ds is equal to t plus 3t square, you do cross multiplication into dt. Just v ni ds by dt అని రాసామంటే cross multiplication చేసాం. Then ds is equal to something into dt అని వచ్చింది. Here for a small interval of time dt, for a small interval of time dt, there is no considerable change in the velocity v. That's why you see from this ds is equal to v into dt. No, ds is equal to v into dt. That means for the small interval of time dt, there is no considerable change in the velocity. That's why that velocity can be imagined to be constant for the small interval of time. That's why constant velocity into time gives distance traveled. So constant velocity into time, that velocity is given as this one. That velocity into time is the distance traveled. And large time కనుక తీసుకుంటే, because it is a large time, 2 to 3 seconds అంటే large time, dt అంటే very small interval of time అండి, 0.0001 second like that. Okay, but when you consider the distance traveled from 2 to 3 seconds means it is a large time. In order to find the distance traveled in large interval of time, it is a small distance traveled in a small interval of time dt. ఈ ds నుంచి total distance s కావాలి. What you have to do? From the small distance traveled to obtain the total distance s, what you have to do? From ds we have to find the s. Integral dx is equal to x. Dx is a small distance. Integral dx is total distance traveled. Similarly, ds is the small distance. To obtain the total distance s, we have to do integration. So integral on both sides. Take integration on both sides. Integral 2t plus 3t square into dt. Integral ds means s, that is the total distance traveled. Limits t is equal to 2 to 3 kada, 2 to 3 seconds time. So s is equal to, it is the distance traveled in a small interval of time dt. Total distance traveled in a time interval from 2 to 3 seconds means integral ds, limits 2 to 3, is equal to 2 to t is equal to 3. ds means this one, limits 2 to 3. Now you see, first you do integration. Integral 2t dt plus integral 3t square dt. We can split like that. First you 2t, 2 is constant, you keep aside. Integral 3 dt, t square by 2 no, plus integral 3t square dt, t is constant, you keep outside. Then integral t square dt, that means t cube by 3, limits 2 to 3. So 2 to 3. Here 3 cancel, 2 to cancel. So t square plus t cube are limits 2 to 3. Therefore, first upper limits we have to substitute integral. T square means 3 square. 3 square plus 3 cube. Okay. Before substitute lower limit, you put minus sign. 2. Instead of t, you substitute 2. 2 square minus half. 2 square plus 2 cube. that is equal to, here it is, what is the value? 9 plus 27. No, sorry. It is, okay. 9 plus 27 minus 4 plus 8. 36 minus 12. Therefore, S is equal to 24 meter. So the rocket travels a distance equal to 24 meter from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. That is the distance traveled by the rocket from 2 to 4 seconds. Yeah, 24 meters. 24 meters is the distance traveled by the rocket. Okay, next. Okay, next, one more example. What is the time? Okay, 12:34, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 60 minutes more. So, one more example I want to say. Integral, second example. Find the instantaneous displacement of a particle of velocity by an expression. Find the instantaneous displacement of the body when velocity of the body is given by t plus 5. If it occupies the position x is equal to 7 at t is equal to 1 second, yet t is equal to 1 second, its position x is equal to 7 meter. That is given. Then instantaneous position of the body at any time t, they ask it. At any time t, they ask it. Okay. You see, velocity v is equal to 2t plus 5 is given. It is the velocity at any instant of time t. But here they asked what is the instantaneous position of the particle at any time t. They asked at a time 1 second the instantaneous position of the particle is 7 meter. Ante 1 second time lo position of the body from the origin, it is at a distance 7 meter. At any time t in general, what is the distance of the body from the origin? That is called the instantaneous position of the particle at any time t. అది కావాలి మనకి. అయితే v varies with time. అంటే ఇది instantaneous velocity కదా. This can be written as dx by dt. That is equal to 2t plus 5. Or dx is equal to 2t plus 5, keep in brackets, into dt, cross multiplication. Okay, integral dx నుంచి distance x కావాలి మనకి. అంటే ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ గా చేయాల్సింది dx is equal to integral 2t plus 5 into dt. అయితే ఇక్కడ at x is equal to 7, at t is equal to 1 second, x is equal to 7. At any time t, what is the instantaneous position of the particle? X. ఇది కావాలి. Therefore, integral dx అంటే x ఏగా, x limits 7 to x is equal to integral 2t plus 5 dt అంటే 2 కాన్స్టెంట్ పక్కన రాసండి. ఇంటిగ్రల్ t into dt, t into dt అంటే t square by 2 plus integral 5 into dt, 5 constant you keep aside, integral dt అంటే t, so 5t, limits 1 to t. So therefore first you substitute upper limit, instead of x you write x, before substituting lower limit you put 7, minus you put, then x means 7 is equal to, here 2 to cancel, integral t square plus 5t, limits 1 to t, 1 to t. Okay, so x minus t is equal to, first upper limit you substitute, t square plus 5 into t. Instead of t we have substitute t only, so you get this one. Before substitute lower limit you put minus n, minus of t square means 1 square, 1 square means 1 plus 5 into 1, 5. So x minus 7 is equal to t square plus 5t minus 6, or x is equal to t square plus 5t minus 6 plus 7. No, you bring this minus 7 to right, then plus 7. So x is equal to t square plus 5t plus 1 you will get. Now this is the instantaneous position of the particle at any time t. Instantaneous position of the particle at any time t. T square plus 5t plus 1. T square plus 5t plus 1. So in this way we have to do the integration. Tomorrow we have to do some more 2-3 problems based on this integration and the differentiation, and after that I will start the vectors chapter. Just I will give the introduction to the vectors, addition and subtraction. Okay, right, have a nice day. I am signing out. Bye all of you, take care of you. Okay. Right, Nana? Bye.